X, potentially one last time.
Thank you very much, Ian. We are ready to get underway with map number 2. We do have Bank for our viewing pleasure coming right up here. And Demo, I honestly, hand on heart, I think we're going to all 3. I'm gonna say that at the start of Bank before we've even seen a round.
I'm tempted to take the swap deal.
You want to take the swap? You didn't get offered it though.
I'm tempted.
Ian's
can I have the swap?
Swap your box.
I can't hear. He's trying to talk to me, but I can't hear him. I don't know. If production maybe came through, see what he wants. Can we bring him in? I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I'm sure he'll pop in.
He's trying to get involved on the desk, but he doesn't want any part of this heat.
Get one for a cast. Come on over here, Ian. Come
Imagine.
I want to be in.
Oh, he's here.
He's here.
Hey.
Can I take the swap?
Well, you want to swap?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to swap?
I'm going to stick.
You're sticking with Hellraisers?
Yeah.
Demo, you want to swap the box?
I'm going to swap.
I don't know if you're allowed to swap the box.
Why have you done a whole segment on swap the box?
I'll tell you what. You can swap the box.
Thank you.
Well, let's see.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to.
This is why we don't have you in. We've had enough of you now, Ian. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ian.
And I do hope this is the last throw from Ian after that.
Bye, Ian. Zero, Hibana, Valkyrie. All to be removed. Now, you might be sat at home wondering why Ian... No, I'm joking. Everyone's wondering why Ian's on, and even I'm wondering why he's on. But you might be sat at home wondering why Zero has been banned. Now, Zero is an operator that provides, I think, quite a really good little bit of utility for this map demo.
Yeah.
You've got the secondary hard breach gadget, which is something that we've talked about at great length, but you also have the Argus cameras.
Yeah.
Now, with the expanse that is Bank and these double height rooms that you've got, and sometimes you need to get information in quite deep in toward the map or the site, the Argus cameras are a great way of doing just exactly that. So, hence the Zero ban. Hibana ban, as to be expected. The Queen of Hatches is not allowed to play on Bank at all. Not that we'll be going down to the basement anyway. It really won't make any much of an impact on that. With Cade being banned, you're really looking to avoid that basement at all costs. And Valkyrie, just because it's Valkyrie.
I'm surprised that Deathrow banned out the Kaid, considering that Thatcher made it through the banning phase. But then again, maybe if you're Deathrow, whenever you switch over to the attack, it means that you don't have to bring Thatcher. I know, as much as we talk about Thatcher, how good he is. He's really good if Kaid's on the board. But if Kaid isn't, then I know he still has his benefits, you know, mute jammers, Sabling ADSs, Maestro cameras, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I would say the probability of consistently seeing ADSs get caught up by a Thatcher grenade it's not...
Slim to none.
It's not a big percentage.
Slim to none. So we will see how this game kicks off. We're going to be into open area first. Deathrow starting things off on the defense here. So again, another opportunity really for Hellraisers to get off on the right foot. We've seen them play this map before. We've seen them play it exceptionally well, not only against Helios, but also last week. So we know that they're a capable team on this map. And I think that was why a lot of us were fairly surprised to see it be let through in the ban phase. Obviously, you haven't got that much flexibility as it's bam, bam, pick, pick, but still a map that has been shown as this successful for a team, you would expect it to be removed. So Deathrow have obviously done their homework coming into this one, and they roughly know what they're going to be going up against.
So we do start with the defense from Deathrow. I mean, keep in mind, this was actually going to be the decider between Hellraisers and Deathrow the first time around. Yeah. So I think the fact that we're seeing it again a second time, being left open, it shows that I don't really think that Deathrow care how good Hellraisers are, because I think they believe in themselves.
There's certainly a willingness to play from Deathrow, which is nice. You know, it's good to see a team that are pretty dominant on a map, and then for another team to go, yeah, we'll have a do at you on that. We don't mind. We'll have a look, and we're more than happy to throw it in. So let's see if there's any early advantages to be found here. That is a beautiful grenade. We've got a great view of it as well. It landed on him.
Yeah, it did.
And it exploded on the same tick. It was beautiful stuff. Jax is going to find the refrag. But honestly, if nades like that again kicks off, it's beautiful stuff. The pocket Kona station.
And he can pick it back up as well and just take it elsewhere.
It's
the beauty of it. Oh, that could be a great C4, and it will be from Jax. X's, though, still has the refrag. So it is even, but wow, what an explosive, I would say, opening minute.
It's not a bad way to put it at all. A lot of pings to be going at on this top floor. Rush will start to move his way through. We can see that Adriano is playing just outside of Janitors there. Rush may be lacking a little bit of info here. There's not that many drones left here for Hellraisers, really. Flares is going to be in one, but he's not on the correct path at the moment as he just skirts his way in through Janitors. Adriano maybe finds himself a free one here, gives the game away, and it's too late. Rush, how do you hit that one?
Sliver of HP left, but that has certainly gave control over to Hellraisers now inside this round. Keep in mind, a Finka Stim can still heal him up bit by bit, so he's not as dead as what I think we thought he was, but still Deathrow. I mean, I suppose it's not a bad position. Both of them doubled up against each other, not as if they're kind of separated. They still have opportunities for a refrag, and Hellraisers, I'm not entirely sure they themselves know what they want to push. With 30 seconds or so still left to play with, they don't have a real clear indication. No vertical action being done. Don't have control of the tellers yet, or archives, and I say that Smash will now wander in, but I think that main quad wall is an issue. That's not being pressured, and Flares has the diffuser, and he's kind of separated by himself right now.
Flares is still worried about Aroma here. They don't know where Rykos is, I don't think. They know where Jax is, but I think they've got no idea where Rykos is playing right now, and they're still worried about a flank even this late in the day. Now, the wall will be opened. Shots fired on through. Rush takes down Rykos, and that should be it, really, realistically, here for Jax, but he finds the down. It was close. Only a few seconds there remained. Rush has had a great swing on in there, not only to take down Rykos, but to convert on that last kill.
He had to make that first kill. He had to win his individual engagement, and he did that. That's literally what it came down to. Whoever won that engagement won the round for their team. And, well, it was Rush.
Not something that you want to be relying on realistically is that close angle. And I stand to this. I really don't think that they knew where Rykos was. Just with how thoroughly Flares was checking things like blue stairs, he checked the little electrical closet. They were worried. They were worried about a flank. They didn't have a clear, and they'll watch it back on the overhead view and they'll go, of course he was there.
He was just in sight.
He's just shot at a drone only moments ago. But I think what they were worried about was him coming out of open area, down those main stairs, and then making that rotation, which in hindsight would have been quite a good play. But realistically, when you're under that much pressure, it's not always the most viable option. And as we said, it comes down to one gunfight. If that gunfight is won, it is an entirely different story. Now, Demo, I need to... Have you got a hat? I need to eat a hat.
Where are you going with this?
Well, I need to eat my words. I said that we're not going to see basement. Second round.
Why do you need a hat if you're going to eat some words?
Because it's the saying, isn't it? I'll eat my hat.
Oh, is it? Oh.
I'll eat my hat if we go down to basement.
We'll get you a hat.
I think it's just preposterous. Imagine, I think it's from the olden days when people used to rock the top hat all the time.
Yes. That's still very common around my neck of the woods.
Well, we need to do something, because the basement isn't a site that we've seen very much at all, and it's one that we've seen be...
Yeah.
We've been mauling over the site.
The thing with basement is it is very tedious, I think, for defenders, because it is a very simple checklist of an attacking phase. Open up the hatches, push in towards server, plant in a position you can't get killed from. Easy. That sounds fairly simple, I would say, Ollie. But the thing is now that we're seeing with defenders is they want to go for a roam game on this basement. They want to try and hold in towards open area. We're seeing an even further extension from Deathrow. They're holding the top floor as well. I mean, we've seen Hellraisers go for this similar defense where they'd open up the hatches and they'd play a roam game inside open area, and that would be it. And it has worked out, I think, quite well for that team specifically. Whereas now, if you look at how the defense is happening for Deathrow, they're everywhere right now. And I don't know if I've seen this tried and tested, so this might be a new one for all of us.
There wasn't a single panel reinforced on the site. Not a single wall is reinforced down there. You could stroll in any way you like.
You could.
And try and get a plant off. Obviously, there's going to be hatches open. You're going to be worried from that point of view. But as you say, this full map clear, with players being able to play so loose, it's going to be very difficult.
I mean, if you're Hellraisers, this is, if you look at it, it's quite a scary thing to attack, isn't it? You don't really know what's happening. You've probably never seen this kind of setup before, because it is very reckless from Deathrow, very all over the place. And I mean, it is that question, should we just try and go on site, but then it might backfire because this roam game? Do we hunt the roamers? That could end disastrously. Big decision-making has to be done from Hellraisers. It's all down to the IGL.
A lot of individual play coming through here as well. Rush, he doesn't know how close he was. The pre-fire comes around the corner and he finds the opener. Shuts down Adriano. Not a bad one to take out first as you remove the Oryx. That's a lot of flexibility and a lot of pushing power on the roam removed. But it's taken you nearly 2 minutes to do so. And that's not going to be enough here. There's still a lot to go through. You've got top floor control, granted. But there's still a threat of a rotation. And of course, there's still the small matter of having to clear out that first floor as well.
Eating up a lot of time, and mean, realistically, all Jax and Neox need to do is just wait their moment, just wait for it. I mean, Neox can obviously rotate up the stairs to assist Jax, who is the lone member inside of open area. And if he goes unchecked, he could play a massive role in this round. Smash, I don't think he has any idea. No, he does not. Jax will take advantage of that omission, though, still keeps it in favor of his side. Fusion is going to be alongside Jax. Fires that C4, but that does nothing. But because they still have control of his hatch ollie, Hellraisers cannot go for a plant.
Flez is now having to push back up the blue stairs in order to do something about this roam presence as Fusion takes down Exodus. Flez really between a rock and a hard place. The place he wants to be is on the site, getting that diffuser down, and with only a short amount of time remaining, he's going to be left with no further choice. Rykos and Jax, now the last two alive. The wall will be opened, and Flares is looking to try and get this plan down. The smokes are going to cover off beautifully, and there's no denial left here for the defenders. Jax can pre-fire all he likes, but the plant is still going to be successful. Great cover there from Omission. He gives his body for that one, but the final two kills come through from Rykos. He has made the roam successful. No C4, doesn't matter an inch. He's going to find the last couple of kills. He grabs the last one even with the pistol. Plenty of time to deal with that planted diffuser.
Unbelievable from Rykos. Just swings. He knows he has nothing left. They have to do something. And he swung for all he's worth, and somehow he finds all of them. Phenomenal work from Deathrow to pull that one back. I mean, Hellraisers, again, you know, we know they're a team that are not afraid of dealing with roamers. And they did that. You know, they got the opening pick and the guy upstairs. And whenever you have the upstairs control, I'm surprised of the lack of droning that Hellraisers then went with the second stage. Why is Jax not getting droned out? Why is he allowed to play inside of open area? Surely if you know a team's going to go for that heavy roam, you would expect them to do the same thing that Hellraisers does, which is play inside of open area, open up the hatch, make sure nobody can just walk in and plant. I thought that would be pretty simple for Hellraisers then to have that man advantage, get the drones in, clear out the guys in open area, and from there it's chalked. But somehow they let that man sit there and get that kill, and then from that position, it just gives Deathrow, it gives him an option.
Jax's position in open area is, it's kind of the oldest in the book as well.
Just in the corner.
It's first protocol, underneath the desk, underneath the hatch, line of sight from the window. Pick your poison on how you want to deal with it. Top floor control was in the hands of Hellraisers. They had a book. They could have used that book to try and open up. Even if you just open it up a little bit, just see what's going on. Just the hatch open. Like, let's just have a peek.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to Deathrow, I think they played the time very, very well.
Very well.
You know, I think that kind of roam game, it added up so much for Hellraisers. I think of what, 10 seconds by the time we seen the Thermite start to go downstairs and actually try and get a diffuser down. And, you know, that's very unlike Hellraisers. Then they usually get a job done by about 30 seconds. They go in for the diffuser. It's a tale of, you know, flip a coin to see how that goes most of the time. But, yeah, just eating up the time worked really well for Deathrow.
Change of sight here. Maybe a change of approach. Exodus looking to get his way in through the stock. Not even willing to open up his own barricade. He wants to be in position to hold on to that angle. He's got an inclination that there's going to be somebody playing at the top of the main stairs, and he would be right. Fusion gives the game away. Shots exchanged there. I'm not sure how that didn't connect there. Fusion looked like his aim was fairly true. It's a pretty shotgun-heavy lineup coming out here from Deathrow. Jax playing the Ella shotgun of all things. Obviously looking to try and tuck in tight on these corners.
Yeah, strong position for that shotgun to be placed. I like the fact that if Adriano's supporting him, we've seen Rush try to go with the Selma charges to open up. Got shot by the castle. So Hellraisers losing out on a bit of utility. Still has two more in the back pocket, but I don't think he's going to try that again. I mean, Hellraisers, it's a bit stumped, don't they? They're not entirely sure what they want to go for. There is a lot to take in. Again, I think Deathrow have been very inventive with how they set up these defenses. And oh, a mission. Almost. You can maybe try and get a kill onto that castle. That would open things up entirely. There goes a nade, and I'm surprised there's no utility alongside Jax inside that closet.
Well, the wall is going to get open now as well. Jax allowed to make that drop. It's going to be Neox to fall first on the Legion. Adriano holding from the elevators all the way through. He's got a long line of sight to be working with there. The mission about 25 seconds late on finding that kill onto Jax. Jax has already since dropped, and he's going to look to try and hold a little bit closer onto site. Minute left, and still we don't see Hellraisers in a great position. There's a lot of work to be done vertically here in terms of opening up that floor, and it's just not something that's seemingly on their to-do list at the moment.
I mean, that offside hold is 2 minutes from Hellraisers. That is phenomenal what Deathrow been able to do, and you have to question Hellraisers. What's happening? Why is it so slow? Why is it taking so slow? Hellraisers are usually in. You know, we talked about Exodus, the Olympic sprinter. He's straight into the building and tries to make things happen. Rush is going to try his hand at a bit of a crouch walk in through the lobby. I think they know that somebody could be lurking inside of elevators, but they're not entirely sure if they want to go for it. Adriano even has another escape. He dropped down one elevator, and now he's into another, and he can even drop down into the basement if he needs to, and he's done just that.
Could look to try and make the rotation and catch players out, but he might be a little bit too late to the party with the kills already going down. Flares gives the game away, and a quick swing from Jax sees him taken on out. The prowess of the shotgun at close range demonstrated once again as there's 2 seconds left, and he's going to chalk himself up a second. Jax body blocking on the diffuser there to guarantee the round for Deathrow.
Too slow from Hellraisers, way too slow. Struggling 2 minutes to establish that top floor control, and whenever they do that, I hadn't seen them utilize it. Did you? I mean, if they're doing all this effort to go above, why are we not seeing the vertical game? I'll tell you why. Because they have Exodus on the puck, and he is dying first nearly every round. He's dead by about the 2 minute mark.
There's been a role swap. Buck and, sorry, not Buck, well, Buck and Iana have switched so has Emission and Exodus. There's usually a Exodus playing on the Iana. And even you think back to Hellraiser's previous game, we saw Exodus rocking the Iana and struggling in some rounds. He didn't have the greatest stats for the bank game that they played a couple of days ago, but I don't think that's enough reason to move him off the role entirely. It's 2 very night and day different roles, and Exodus really isn't too focused on using that skeleton key and getting things open.
Be, though.
But that is the role of the book. We even saw the uncertainty, I think, for Hellraisers runs so deep that even at sub 1 minute in around the 40-second mark, we're still seeing players ADSing round corners on that top floor. They still don't know it's not clear because they are just unable to get a body count and unable to find out where these defenders are playing.
It just seems to be too one-directional a lot of time from Hellraisers. Things, it's not looking good for them at the moment, those 2 rounds. Again, maybe we're holding them to too high of a caliber because we know how good they are. They showed it against Tome, how much of a force, you know. It's the reason why you're still sticking with them and think we can see a map free. Why are we not seeing that?
We know that they've got it in them to pull out a good result.
It's so difficult because, you know, we love our teams, we do. And whenever we've seen them at their highs,
that's the hard part.
It's so difficult to see them at their lows. And
Deathrow are playing well at the minute. I think they've certainly come out and they've shown that they can hang here and already starting to chain a couple of rounds together. Their ability to time waste is fantastic.
Yeah, second
and a lot of teams would struggle against this level of time wasting, but it's also a confidence from Deathrow that they demonstrate, and they're happy to take these almost one-on-one gunfights. Because if I'm going to be put in this position where I'm going to waste time, I'm unlikely to have someone holding my hand ready to get that direct trade. And that's kind of what we're seeing come out here.
So window game from Hellraisers, no surprise for this bomb site. Rush utilizing some of the utility, eliminates the castle barricades, and that puts Neox in a bit of a rough position. Only that was a bit of a protection for him. And also anyone inside of the actual bomb site in towards the sofas going to be exposed. For Hellraisers, I mean, fairly run-of-the-mill stuff at the moment. You'll always find somebody in the windows, just probing around, seeing what they can do. Pick up a kill here or there, and really open things up for their side. And mentioned him, there it is, the guy in the window finds a freebie.
It was much better positioning from Neox this time. He played himself much further back. He got taken out by a nade in pretty much the same spot earlier. But it was the gunfight that did him wrong, as he did just overpeak on that a little bit. A couple of kills there getting traded. I'm not sure why Jax is trying to get the corner station out. He goes for the swing, finds the kill, but Flares is there for the immediate trade. Hellraisers capitalizing on some questionable plays inside of this round. Adriano could look to try and burst through the wall. Maybe he doesn't want to give the game away. Finds himself a freebie onto Rush. A kill that early on inside of a 1vx is fantastic. He's got so much time to play with. He can maybe even choose to dip on out. Flares, don't challenge that with a pistol, please. Do not challenge that with the pistol. You don't need to. Finally, the barricade gets open and he can retreat into site. That would have been one of the biggest throws we have ever seen. Get yourself into site and start getting that plant down. Adriano now with the approach, but he's got to go up against Smash. And Smash has he has the spear this time, not the LMG. Is there any information available for Adriano here? He probably knows where the plant's gone down. He's going to take this slow as he likes, but Flares is in position. Not much of a post plant to speak of, really. There wasn't really a crossfire yet established, but It's one that Hellraisers get over the line.
Yeah, Hellraisers start off, attacking it as if it was, the top floor. Trying to burn in through those castle barricades in towards couches, those long angles being fought. And I think the key thing that Hellraisers have always tried to achieve whenever they're attacking that open area is they've wanted to get skylight control to open up that quad wall. That has been a bit of a go-to for them. We've seen the Thermite rotate in there a lot. So if you kind of open up those CEO walls and then you look down on towards the skylight, it means that the team has to then challenge. You've mentioned it before, with these kind of setups that, well, I'm sure we'll see Hellraisers, whenever they switch to the defense, they'll do a similar thing. They set up to force the attackers into going for a roam hunt.
Do you think there's any worry of Smash being dehydrated by the end of this game? Have you seen the size of that guy's cup? It's honestly as big as my forearm. It's huge. Important tactical timeout here for Hellraisers. I like the point at which they've taken it, because they've called the timeout probably partway through that round, early on inside of the round. So they knew that something was really getting away from them there inside of the game as a whole. And they've been able to not only pick the round up, but they've got a positive spin to put on the timeout now. They can talk about the things that they did really well inside of that round. Now, we could sit here and say that Deathrow kind of missed a few opportunities. I know that you were getting a little bit loud at a certain Jax's play where he was placing down the corner station instead of going for the challenge. It was a messier affair.
I'm just surprised that whenever he placed it down, nobody jumped on him. I would have been on his back.
From both sides, there's questions really inside of that one. And
just a weird one of those.
He eventually did go for the swing. To be fair, he found a kill before he did. But we are going to be going back downstairs now. Now, this was the site that I very boldly said at the start of the stream that we're not going to see it this game, but we are. And the reason that we're going to see it is because it was an extension last time. Now, you look at the lineup.
It's very different.
That isn't an extension lineup. That is a turtle lineup if ever you've seen one. C4s, information, pulse,
yeah, the
smoke.
Matches.
They've got everything they need here to make a very firm stand, and it becomes with a big but demo. Rush. He's played the fuse. What is he thinking? You're not a fan, are you? You're a bit of a hater when it comes to the fuse.
Fuse to Chanka, not having it. Them two, not my. Nope, just
not your cup of tea.
Nah. So the only thing I worry for Hellraisers is they're not bringing the ace, which is something that they brought. I'm sitting here looking at Hellraisers and I'm thinking, how are you dealing with the mirror windows? Because that's going to be a tricky thing to get through, because you don't have your Twitch, you don't have any ranged hard breach. Mirror windows are going to be tricky. I mean, that mirror window that Jax is going to be placing, who's going to be able to punch that? You're a madman if you think you can try and get that.
You need to remove the player. You need to try and nade the player out, and whether that's done with a fuse puck to fuse through
they only have one set of nades, though. And a fuse puck, no way a fuse is reaching that.
But they've got the fuse to burn the ADSs. They've got the fuse to burn the ADSs. They can try and make something work there. They've also got the secondary heart breach gadget on the fuse as well. In reality, it's a relatively good pick for this site.
Just mirror really cripples them, though. I just think, in my opinion.
Still, the mirror window is the mirror window, and it's as powerful position as it's ever going to be. There's also a couple of smokes on side as well. We've got 4 smokes that Hellraisers are really doubling down on here, which again is a little bit unusual, but it could provide them that cutoff.
Pulse is such an underrated pick and bank, especially for this bomb site. You can find out so much. There isn't any vertical action on the basement. Realistically, one of the only, I think, maps that doesn't have, vertical action on any of the floor. It is all reinforced, so vertical game doesn't come into play. So that's where Pulse becomes phenomenal, where you can sit there, you can find out that information. You're not going to get back from above. Sure, you might not be able to get the C4 kills using vertical action, but still, you just have that information. That is the key.
Well, the fuse charge goes off. With the wall being fully reinforced, there's no chance for any of the pucks to make their way through into the hallway. Just the opening halfway isn't going to be enough, so it should mean that the ADSs are still intact. But we do see a smoke canister come out. Now, Toxic Babe's also in position. This is really good utility usage. Both teams actually getting themselves in a position nice and early, but there is a flank on the cards. Adriano, we might not have much health demo, but he could still cause a little bit of a problem. Plant being attempted for a second time as we get our first kill. Smash takes down Neox. 3 players stacked up inside of the server here. Adriano, he's just got to pick his time. He needs to play this well. With the hatch being reinforced, it's going to be difficult for him to try and make that play. As we do see a little bit of a rotation halfway up. There's Exodus. He's actually stuck inside of his drone, so if the push does come through now, it could be fairly detrimental. Rush picks up the second onto the flanking Adriano as the C4 comes out after all of the toxic bays, but it swings and it misses. Hellraisers, they've given themselves so much time here. We see another C4 come out from Fusion, and now another smoke canister. The mirror window has been faltered by Jax as he needs that line of sight, but is it going to do him any good? As the plant's already gone down, Rykos with the aggression on through, finds himself 3. A mission, he's going to do it all. He picks up Jax, and then he takes down Rykos, jogging back deep inside of the server, finds the last 2 kills.
Oh, nice attempt from the smoke, but it was not good enough against the mission. Deep inside the server, just has to sit there and hold the angle, and he does extremely well at that job. I have to commend Hellraisers with how they played that one out. Extremely well done. Realizing that it's going to be a more utility-orientated defense, you know, with the mirror windows, the pulse coming in.
It was a great read.
They started planting at, what, 1 minute 10. That gives you so much time to burn through. They went through free smokes, they went through 2 C4s, and they still had enough time to plant. It was just rinse and repeat. Push in, bait out utility, back out. Wait for it to go. Back in, bait them again. Back in, bait them again. And then you get the plant down. And as soon as that plant goes down on the server, we know it is so difficult to retake.
That was like watching a round. You could have pulled a round out of the archives for Bank, and it could be a 3-year-old round, and you would have seen it play out like that. Because that's how it used to play. It used to play where you've got to get yourself into a position to be able to soak up that defender utility and bait it out.
And this has come back to the point where I say the basement is so easy. It is so easy for the attackers. You push in, you have hatch control, you move the server, you open up the wall, and it's just a case of burn utility. It all comes down to your time management, albeit, but Hellraisers, all the time in the world.
And they showed that very well indeed. Honourable mention for Rykos. You can't have a swing like that and pick up through without being at least nodded to. Mentioned.
Nice attempt, nice attempt.
It was a great attempt.
But that's all it's going to be?
It's all it was. It was not enough.
Yeah, very unlucky. I mean, to be fair, worked for him in the past. You know, we've seen Rykos, I think, show up with these big performances, but I don't know, just Deathrow, I think, missing the mark. I think especially the battle on main stairs against, I think it was Smash or Rush, one of the two, fighting in main stairs. I think it was against the Finka. That's also another thing it comes down to, because if you have that control of that main stairs, if you're an attacker, if you have control of main stairs, it then kind of puts, you know, something in the back of your head as the defenders. I could get killed from main stairs because we don't have that right now.
Still time for Deathrow to finish 3-3. We do enter round number 6, so their last round in regulation on the defense. Hellraisers moving with a little bit more caution inside of this round. They're going into the known once again. That barricade isn't going to open. The nade not doing the job. It's a big shame for Rush. Typically, the first nade is to open the barricade. The second nade gets sent on through. Exodus grabs himself an opener. He's actually already got himself in upstairs and can look to start aggressing on down. Smash picks Adriano up. This is great adaptation. Rykos, he was in position to do something about that, but has come through a little bit too late. Makes a rotation, can try and peek from Tellers, but realistically, the time for that has kind of passed, and you can't look to aggress onto this. But Smash is going to come searching for you. Pre-fires through the wall. It's tantalizingly close, but it's not enough. Rykos can make a safe exit and retreat all the way into the basement.
Jax, down in the middle of Skylight right now. Doesn't know which way to look. A lot of windows, of course, that he has to be wary of. Can't find anyone at the moment. Oh, did he just catch a sniff? I don't know, but as it stands, Deathrow, 2 players down, and Jax is going to try his best to at least find something. But the drone work comes in. It's something that you question Hellraisers. Whenever you get to this stage, where's the drone work? And they've done that.
Does Smash know that somebody's playing inside of Archives? That's the big question right now. He knows the drone's just been taken out. It should have been fed on through. He's maybe looking to try and hold this as a flank as a pinch comes through from both sides. But Jax finds a mission, and Smash lets him go. Still in a position to do some damage here. He lands his second, picks one up onto Smash, eventually gets himself taken down. Realistically, not a great position to be in. Rykos, 1 HP. It's taken down by Rush on the hatch, as Neox has now got to try and hold on. This extension hasn't worked this time. Rush is going to be pre-firing on. He looks as though he knows his location. 20 seconds left. Can try to get the plant down. There's nothing that Neox can do really here to try and stop this plant, although there is a castle barricade stopping players from pushing on through. Misses his shots as Flares is going to be getting the plant down. Exodus takes a second to reload, hits him with a stun, really trying to guarantee this last kill, but Rush says, I'm going to yoink that one away from you. And now we see Deathrow on the fight back.
Yeah.
Come away at a 4-2 split here on the attack after seeing the basement brought twice by Deathrow. Not just once, 2 times.
Yeah, and again, it was very orientated towards just sitting on site and praying almost that, you know, the roamers would do the job. But we can see if the roamers don't have an impact, it's going to be, again, very simple for the attackers.
Hellraisers won it 2 different times, Demo.
Yeah.
They won the utility burn, and then they won the roam. Sure, we get Deathrow winning one of the roam times, but the Jackal was the big difference. As soon as Deathrow started bringing, as soon as Hellraiser started bringing the Jackal, things really started to switch up. And it dealt with that roam game a lot easier. Fair enough, it took Hellraisers a couple of rounds to realise they needed something else, but they were able to make that change and still come out 4-2.
You think of Jackal, you think of Bank. That is
It goes hand in hand.
It just is. And
I think it's because everyone's traumatised from Lion and Jackal being used together on Bank.
yeah, back in the day. Let's not get into the Ying and Glaz. That's whenever the attackers, we talk about attackers, how easy it is for them. Whenever the Ying and Glaz were kicking about the basement, oh, no chance did you have of doing anything. So yeah, it's just, hey, it's great to look back sometimes and see how the meta's changed. Would you ever have thought the open area would be a popular bomb site in Bank 3 years ago?
Borderline
Never.
primary site, by the way.
Never.
Because when you think about the basement, you think about it being relatively straightforward. When you think about the top floor, all the windows.
It's been shaky for defenders
It's
upstairs.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say open area is bordering on primary site. Certainly the primary for Hellraisers, they're going to choose to come here first. What's Exodus playing at? Hidden away.
If he gets, if the drones are missing,
Maybe
missing
he's
him,
captured
then
a drone. Maybe that's his play. Maybe he's got some info that he can be working off. He's still got a couple of pests knocking around.
yeah, you can see that. 2 of them. I mean, that's good to get. That's a very positive trade as the Mozzie. Looks like both of them actually near lobby right now. So I think that's just him knowing pre-placed drones going over. Oh, catch them. Bang. No problem at all. Adriano has to be careful. Some of these windows. Yep, you are a sitting duck. And Alexis, he finds 1 duck. Any more? Duck hunt.
So free as well. We saw the...
What happened there?
We saw the breaching round hit the... I think he might have hit like the hard wall, like hit the door frame as opposed to the castle barricade because it didn't go off.
There, yeah. It's waiting for the bang, and the bang never came.
I mean, Rikos has still got some breaching charges, so we could do it the old-fashioned way, but I imagine that they're going to be saved for elsewhere with them not bringing the sledge and the buck already going.
And this is the buck is...
Haven't got that.
Both sides, buck hasn't really been used to the full extent, which is a bit of a shame because he's a great operator for this map.
Still a plethora of information available for Exodus here as he can pretty much not have to worry about that main lobby area. He's got the drones covering it and he can have his teammates just hopping in to the drones to figure that out. Great C4 over from Rush as he takes down Neox. Hellraiser's looking for some fairly rinse and repeat stuff, but they're not over-aggressing here, Demo, and that's the really nice thing. They've given away a little bit of control, but they know that it's not too much of a concern. Because there's only a minute left, Deathrow don't have a lot of time to really start to rip open this floor, and they've not really got the utility to be doing so. Sure, there's 3 grenades, but realistically, you need to be getting those out and you need to be removing that utility to allow you to push in onto site. Yeah,
another issue is they only have a Maverick for their hard breach, and Maverick and the hatch at this stage, it's going to take you quite a while to get those open. So that's another issue that Deathrow ran into is they don't have the hard breach. And the hard breach is necessity to open up that hatch. It stops anyone inside of office. It stops the rotates from the archives, and obviously the rotates in from open area. It gives you a point of access more than anything. It's a tricky old bomb site to get into. Fusion will try and fight Smash on the stairs, and he wins that. And all of a sudden, it is even 3 versus 3.
There's a big couple of kills coming in there from Deathrow, but with 20 seconds, is it going to be enough? Admission, playing deep on the B site. Rush has the ability to drop down the hatch. This could be great. He could find himself 1 and then dip, but he's more than likely going to have to fight this. Picks himself up 2. Jax left outside in the cold. 5 seconds and he's got to aggress on in. He may have a little bit of info, but he's desperately trying to pre-fire and find something. Lie down, keep yourself safe. Hide away, Hellraisers. You start to chain yourselves a bit of a lead here.
Great position. Off angle. Nobody is expecting you there, and just no drones from Deathrow because they didn't have time. Both attacks struggling quite a bit with the time management, and on a map like Bank, you're going to get punished for that. It is a big map. Let's not say anything wrong. It is a big map with a lot of utility. You have reinforced hatches. You have the soft destruction. There is a multitude of things you need to get done, and you have a very short time to do it. And if you cannot do that successfully, ban bank, because there's no point playing it.
Hellraisers have already proved themselves throughout Challenger League as a good team on this map. Deathrow haven't played it in Challenger League. They've played it a couple of times. I think they're two losses out of 3 times they played it or something like that in recent, in sort of the past 6 months, but they haven't played it inside of Challenger League. Now, the fact that it was left in the first time that these two teams faced off, we said it was a sort of acceptance from Hellraisers that they can play this map and that they're happy to. The fact that it's now in again, it's Hellraisers' map choice. We know what they're capable of. It's no surprise to see Deathrow take themselves a time out here and just try and recompose. An opportunity to go through and to take this series as a 2-0 is dwindling, Demo. It really is dwindling before their very eyes. And the longer this goes on, the more likely we are to see that third map come through. Hellraisers only 1 point away, only 1 round away from a map point. 2 rounds away from closing it out. We could be about to see that good old reverse sweep that we know them for. Wouldn't be the first time that Hellraisers have pulled up that kind of an upset.
Yeah, and I mean, it was Bank that was the kind of catalyst, wasn't it, in that instance? So I need to get the swap back. Maybe gonna go for the double swap volley potentially.
Well, it was a 7-2 as well, wasn't it? Don't forget, it was 7-1 to Totem on Villa. Then it was 7-2 to Hellraisers on Bank. And then we went on to the third map. A lot of potential for that to repeat itself.
Here's the thing with Hellraisers that we kind of mentioned. If one player has the standout performance, it is the make or break for Hellraisers. Look at Rush.
Look at Rush, yeah.
15 kills. It's not only for Deathrow, right? You're having a shaky game. Again, I have to say, Neox, 0-7. Adriano, 1-6. This is very similar to what we've seen in Totem, where we had players from, Totem and Deathrow respectively not showing up. Yeah. And then you have stupid numbers on the other side of Hellraisers. And that, I mean, we can sit there and talk about how the strategies develop, how the time management, all that stuff. And then it comes down to who has the most kills. And right now it's Rush.
You got one player going 15-4.
And what do you do against them? It's not, okay, how are we going to play against Hellraisers in their setup? How are we going to kill this one guy?
It's a big problem indeed. And it's something that Deathrow need to find a solution to fairly quickly before this one does run away from them. Now, we're not seeing Exodus flexing as hard this time. He's actually being maybe a little bit too overzealous with those Mozzie drones.
Yeah, he lost one there.
He has lost one. The information proving pretty crucial last round to knowing that that main lobby was clear, and it almost kind of put Deathrow off pushing there entirely. Now they're a lot more preoccupied with this window play, and they're going to try and see themselves an advantage through here. Now, Rush has a C4 in hand, and he's threatening, maybe just waiting for that jump in to come through upstairs.
Yeah, waiting just for something. Echo Drone maybe being placed upstairs, I'm not entirely sure. Just a combo with the C4. In goes Neox. Rush, does the C4 connect? Yes, beautiful. It will. And Neox, it just keeps getting worse for him.
That's the sort of siege timing that you have when you go in 0-8. They're the sort of problems that you're coming up against where you cannot do anything.
Bad goes to worse.
It really does. Rush, he's picked himself up a second demo. He's got himself 2 kills already inside of this round.
That's what I'm saying. This is it. You cannot do anything. We have seen this throughout the course of the season for different teams and different players. One standout performance is enough to give your team a win.
And there's no doubt that the information for the back of that C4 was being called for by a teammate. He's not just making that play entirely on his own. There's going to be something that's giving him the indication. Either that or he's just got his sound cranked to the maximum and he heard as soon as that hop-in came. Either way, it's given a nice early swing of an advantage here. Both hard breaches gone. It's going to be a single doorway push. Unless there's any soft walls that you can really start to try and exploit, but even then, they're going to be a little bit too deep to get into. Now, Jax is getting the plan down, which is strange. Flares moves the Yokai drone over and will be able to deny, but it's only the first. Exodus takes down Adriano before Smash finds himself 1. 1 versus 5 now, as the plant is unlikely to go down. There's information, a punch through the wall is all it takes. A flawless round here from Hellraisers. Demo, these boys are hotting up here, and they are poised and ready to take us to a third map.
It is very similar to what we've seen against Totem, isn't it? They start off very slow in the first map, and then the second map, they come out swinging. I mean, I think it's, great comparison to how they've been just in the tournament. Start off very slow, and then now they started to warm up. It's a team that just takes a bit of time to get going, realistically, isn't it?
Maybe we should tell them that if they do get into EU, it's best of ones.
It's best of ones. Oh dear, Hellraisers. Oh dear.
Maybe that just needs to get sent across in some sort of memo. I don't know if they get a welcome pack if they do make their way in, but it needs to be very clear that this is the best
Sitting
one.
there playing against BDS. We've been 7-0, boys. Second map. It's all right. We're ready to go.
Second map's on
Oh,
us now.
wait. We don't have a second map.
It really is the story of Hellraisers so far. They've got a long way to go if we do go to a third, but at this point, it's all but locked in. Right, I'm never saying that we're never going to see the basement again, because not only have we seen it 3 times, and now this is the fourth.
Yeah.
Both teams have picked it.
I know. I mean, to be fair, I was waiting for the kind of Hellraisers again to go for this basement. It is a bit of a classic for them. We've seen them do this same playstyle previously, where they want to try and go basement. They open up the hatches, and that gives them the site control, so somebody just can't walk into server and plant at the reinforced wall. You have to fight Hellraisers, and that's what they want to do right now. Whenever they have this momentum, they want to be able to take these fights. And if they win those fights, then that's going to be it for them. You know, they have absolutely nothing to lose in this position.
A couple of hatches there being left soft. There isn't that much of a roam presence, particularly on that top floor, but there's certainly players in and around the first floor.
Yeah, they got the top floor hatches reinforced to try and assist the guys inside of open area.
I've already seen a couple of yokai drones placed out there as well. Jax could be on for a bit of a crouch walk through the garage.
I assume there's a camera, though, looking at them in garage. That would be, you know, with the echo.
For a yokai or something of that nature. Certainly isn't going to find it entirely for free, I would highly doubt.
A bit scared, Deathrow, aren't they? All over the place. Don't really know what they're going for right now. There's the bulletproof as you shout it out. So, yep. Again, Hellraiser's nothing right now that's worrying them. Everything covered.
And this is almost the wrong approach for an attacking team to go through, to try and get somebody into garage. Like, I think every good attack starts from that top floor. And if this is just going to be a back hatch drop into the vault...
Helios tried this, and Hellraisers ate them alive.
You've just got to worry for the teams.
No.
They're going to go for it, and immediately they're going to be met by a rush as he counters the rush, but he does get taken out. Neox able to win that engagement, trade out 1 for 1. It's a worthwhile execute now. They've just got to fight even further. But Hellraisers, they're not moving. They don't need to. No. Sure, you might have control of gold and you might have control of vault, but what else have you got? We're currently holding these 2 players off. Exodus and Emissions pick up a couple of kills before Rykos trades 1 back. Inside of gold, now looks to move on through. Needs to start thinking about recovering that diffuser realistically, as that is going to be dropped just outside of B. Not really the time to be hopping on the drone, and with flares above, it's going to be difficult for Fusion to really make any sort of impact. He moves on through, and he's likely going to get taken out. Rykos can try and recover this diffuser. It was probably called as downed when the kill went through, although with the wall being there, it's unsure. It might not have been that clear. Smash looks to just push himself up ever so slightly. The nade could have Smash's name on it right here, but it does just chunk him down a little bit. Emission getting beat in the process as well. Just less than half. I guess the advantage with going for that as such an early rush is that you've still got a little bit of time, but Fusion went roam hunting and got caught out by Flares. Flares doesn't even need to finish that kill off demo. That's how focused Hellraisers are about getting this one over the line. They don't want to leave anything to chance. Rykos, some last-ditched effort at a drone to gather a little bit of information, but realistically, what is he able to do? The pre-fire's coming through, the swing there from Emission. Hellraisers do what we know them capable of, demo, and they fight back. 7 rounds to 2 here on Bank. It's a familiar scoreline for anyone that was here watching the other night. And we have certainly got a full best of 3 on our hands.
Hellraisers, so cool and collected, weren't they? The rush comes in through the back hatch. They got 1 kill. And typically we would see a lot of teams, a lot of players just kind of run aimlessly thinking, oh, we're getting rushed, quick, do something, stop them. Nope, didn't move, because they knew the position they're in. They have the upstairs control, they have the hatches, they have a guy with a shotgun. If they try and jump in through the double window, they're going to get blasted away. Everything was covered. And Hellraisers, they're ready for that. They're up against that. You know, Helios tried to do it. What happened to Helios?
Pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think that was even more refined than what they did to Helios as well. It was beautiful to not see these guys panic and move. I think that was the biggest thing about when you start getting really taken by surprise. You start thinking, oh, we've got to try and quickly scramble to get... Stand still.
But 6-2 up, you know you don't have to worry, because it's Deathrow who's worrying. Absolutely. Deathrow had to go for the desperation play.
They really did. And now Deathrow move into this third and final map. Arguably on the back foot with the momentum firmly in Hellraiser's hands. We're going to be cutting to a very short break, and then we'll be back with the Deaths to break that one down and set up our third map here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.